Hey there, Hofstra fans. Back once again for WBB Mason, the Coach's Report. I'm Dan Savarino, joined with the head coach, the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team, Coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, thanks for joining us as always.
Thank you.
Well, coming off a tough one yesterday, Delaware 71-66 in OT. But what did you like that you saw from your team yesterday?
I thought we played. It was a really good game. I thought we had a lot of kids in double figures. We played a really good team game, and we played well in their arena. It just didn't do a couple little things to finish the deal on the road.
Annie Payton gets a big shot towards the end of that game. What did that really spark for this team to be able to still, come back and get a big buzzer beater?
Well, obviously you see the fire in their eyes and never giving up attitude, and I think that just, if they feel like if there's 12 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, we have a chance to do something. Played in a lot of tight games already so far this year and have executed very well down the stretch. It's just, I think it gave them a sense of urgency. I know that they really wanted to prove they could win an overtime game. So again, it was, a little disappointing to play well, to have really good team chemistry, and then fall short.
Well, last week you ended up beating Albany back here at the MAC. Krista Luciano gets a start, second straight game. Yesterday she scored in double figures. What have you seen from her growing so far in just her freshman campaign?
She has an understanding of the game that's hard to teach. She comes in with that, obviously, just a real canny knack of finding people and really doesn't get rattled. So some of her maturity is way beyond that of a freshman. It was unfortunate she got in foul trouble yesterday. I think that hurt us a little bit. So she's going to have to learn to be a little more disciplined when she's got, 1 or 2 fouls and not reach in. So I think she kind of saw that, especially on the road too. They're not going to give you any benefit of the doubt. So it was a little unfortunate that she had to sit there for a while. And I think that definitely hurt us.
And Kelly Loftus, she gets more minutes and more minutes than she has the last couple of games. Last week against Albany, coming up clutch, big free throws towards the end.
Right.
What have you seen from her, though, as she's just grown so far in her freshman year?
Again, another one that has an understanding of the game that is really good and has a really competitive mindset. Got a big steal right there at the game-changing moment. Got the big steal and threw it ahead to AO, and we got on the free throw line. So, she just makes heady plays. And I saw a little bit, sometimes with the freshmen, you saw a little bit of a moment when they got a little frustrated, but some of that is just the growing pains they're going to have to live with, but they just got to keep fighting, and I think they have that type of spirit.
In the beginning of the season, Kelly came in just pretty much as a sharpshooter towards the outside. Now she's starting to grow, just more as for developing her entire game. What has she exactly been working on in particular to try and fix?
Well, taking it to the basket, which you saw in the Delaware game, Nita's not standing around and letting things happen to her. She's just making the charge and making the changes in the game. So she's got a lot of good attacks to the basket, and she played a lot of 4 in high school too, so we just kind of had to add a little bit more of that rebounding prowess for her, get her to understand that role, playing in the forward position sometimes as well. But, certainly, again, more confidence with the freshmen. The more minutes they start to play, the more confidence they get. Same way with ALO, and the better we're going to be as a team. So the more we can bring them along, certainly will help the veterans.
You mentioned about Eloetta Faroka, and of course, playing along the glass, and that's been since the beginning of the season, one of the big question marks of this team is rebounding.
Yeah.
So what do you think they've done to really learn and grow as a team, and especially work along the glass?
Well, we got a ways to go with that, because we got hurt, in the game yesterday when it came down to a few boards. That could have been, game-changing moments. When you break the game down, it's really small, and we always talk about it's the little things. It's small. There's segments of the game where we could have, contained and got the board, or our bigs had to go help the guards. And sometimes it's not always just the bigs. The casual fan, we can point fingers, casual fans can, but when you start going back and look at the tape, they came over to help, and then who was helping the helper, and little things like that. So it's just, again, more teaching, more understanding the rebound responsibilities in a zone, as well as in a man, but definitely in a zone. And but a couple of last plays, got to turn around, you got to find your kid, especially when they have a nose for the ball. And we play a lot of teams coming up with Towson that have nose for the ball, that rebounds, that are just can go after it, and some of that stuff is just really needs to be habitual. You got to turn, you got to find, you got to make contact, and don't get pushed underneath. So I think we have a ways to go with that. We've gotten crushed. Here I was kind of being very happy with our rebound at the beginning of the year, and then we get really challenged, and we've got to really step up to the challenge, because we are better than we have shown, obviously, since Harvard as well. That was a debacle in that respect. So we can board, we can rebound, and we just got to prove it.
Imani Yuku, still your leading scorer. She's been in double figures the last couple of games, double-double last week against CCSU. How do you think she has developed her game and really just leading this team by example?
Yeah, a lot of pressure goes on her, a lot on her shoulders, and I think she has, learned how to deal with it, and being in a role that she hasn't been in her career. And so I think the more that she keeps just putting herself in those positions and being forced to do what she needs to do, the better she's going to be by the end of the season and the time when it comes in. It just is what it is. She's never been in these pressure moments. I mean, there's been plays thrown for her shots that are her shots, and she can hit them. You know, if we didn't think she could hit them, we wouldn't keep putting them in there for her. So, you know, she's going to keep embracing that role as a team captain, which she's highly capable of doing, and answering that call. We always cringe when she misses one or two because we feel like every time she shoots, she can make it. So, you know, we're just going to keep leaning on her. I know the underclassmen are leaning on her a lot, just to, you know, give that positive role model and keep us going and responding, you know, to adversity.
Now, I know you've already had obviously the one CAA game so far, but is it good to see almost like a clean slate when you start conference season?
Yeah, you know, you break the seasons up in 4 different seasons, so we knew that, and this was, you know, the beginning, and we wanted this win on the road, and no words can take that away. We just got to go back. You know, if it was out of our reach, and then we could say we'd be grasping for straws, but you know, we have the ability. We just have to do those little things, and you know, we have a good team that doesn't point fingers. So you know, it's just now we got to take care of this one at home and then go back on the road again. I think they're just gearing up to, you know, to understanding what it takes to win on the road. I think they understand how they got to do it.
You mentioned home and away, Townsend on Thursday, 7 o'clock here at the MAC, and then Sunday down at UNCW. What are you expecting to see from these two squads?
You know, Towson's got a new leadership with their coach, and they just play a lot of different zone looks and very athletic. They picked us apart last year at their place too, off of, you know, we're in transition, trying to pop balls out of our hands, and really kind of caught us off guard. So, you know, I think we have a sense of urgency about what they can bring to the table, and you know, they're led by McTiller, and they've got a Virginia Tech transfer there that's kind of putting up some big numbers. So it's going to be a hard-fought game here at our place.
Well, Thursday night, 7 o'clock start here at the MAC. Come out and support the team as always. And of course, go to Hofstra.com, check for more schedules and information. Coach Steveskey, thanks so much for the time once again.
Thank you.